This is my first ever live stream on this channel. I'm hoping it goes well because if it does, we will do more. Today we'll be reading about Jesus being nailed to the cross, his death, and then the resurrection. So I'm hoping we can get as many people in here as possible to join me in this. Again, this is my first live stream on this channel, so I don't know how well it's going to go. But if you're watching this later at a later time, I appreciate you and hope that you'll join me next time, or that you'll gain something from this live as well. If you don't know who I am, my name is AJ. I also have another channel called the Wrestling World Podcast, and I decided to start this new channel for Bible studies and shorts and everything else related to the Bible and Bible readings. I am a Christian, and I enjoy reading the Bible, so I hope that you guys will enjoy it too. But anyways, like I said, we're going to get into it right now. And I hope that you guys enjoy this. So let's get started. We're going to start with the death sentence, Matthew 27 through 15. During Passover, Pilate always freed one prisoner chosen by the people. And, before I start this, I just want to say, we'll read a passage, then we'll discuss it. If we get some people in here, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. Let's have a conversation. All right. The death sentence. During Passover, Pilate always freed one prisoner chosen by the people. And at the time, there was a prisoner named Barabbas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these words wrong. I'm not the best pronunciation. He and some others had been arrested for murder during a riot. The crowd now came and asked Pilate to set a prisoner free, just as he usually did. Pilate asked them, "Do you want me to free the king of the Jews?" Pilate knew that the chief priests had brought Jesus to him because they were jealous. But the chief priests told the crowd to ask Pilate to free Barabbas. Then Pilate asked the crowd, "What do you want me to do with this man you say is the king of the Jews?" And they yelled, "Nail him to the cross." Pilate asked, "But what crime has he done?" They shouted again, "Nail him to a cross." They yelled even louder. Pilate wanted to please the crowd, so he set Barabbas free. Then he ordered his soldiers to beat Jesus with a whip and nail him to a cross. So, real quick, thank you guys for coming in. We got 4 people in here already. That's great. For those that are just coming in, we're reading the Bible, lab Bible reading. So these people obviously want Jesus dead, right? They don't. It seems like they don't care what crimes he committed. They just want him dead, right? And it's sad when you think about everything that Jesus went through. We're going to get into this in a second here. Thank you for that like, by the way. Appreciate that. It's just sad to know that these people did not care what crimes Jesus committed. They just wanted to see him dead, And it is sad. It really is. Because he's even asking, what crimes did he commit? Nail him to a cross, they say. So now we're going to get into the soldiers making fun of Jesus. Here we go. The soldiers led Jesus inside the courtyard of the fortress and called together the rest of the troops. They put a purple robe on him. And on his head they placed a crown that was made out of thorn branches. Sorry. They made fun of Jesus and shouted, "Hey, you king of the Jews." Then they beat him on the head with a stick. They spit on him and knelt down and pretended to worship him. So right then, they're mocking Jesus. They're pretending to worship him. They're spitting on him. They placed the crown of thorns on his head, basically mocking his powers. They don't believe he's the king. They're mocking this guy and don't even realize how powerful he is. That's the crazy part, right? Okay, so let's continue on. When the soldiers had finished making fun of Jesus, they took off the purple robe. They put his own clothes back on him and led him off to be nailed to the cross. Simon from Cyrene happened to be coming in from a farm, and they forced him to carry Jesus' cross. Simon was the father of Alexander and Rufus. The soldiers took Jesus to Golgotha, which means place of a skull. There they gave him some wine and mixed with the drug to ease the pain, but he refused to drink it. They nailed Jesus to a cross and gambled to see who would get his clothes. It was about 9 o'clock in the morning when they nailed him to the cross. On it was a sign that told why he was nailed there. It read, "This is the King of the Jews." So, hello, how are you? Good to see you in here. Thanks for stopping in. So simple, right? They're nailing him because he is the King of the Jews. The soldiers also nailed 2 criminals on the crosses, one to the right of Jesus and one to his left. People who passed by said terrible things about Jesus. They shook their heads and shouted, "Ha! So you're the one who claimed you could tear down the temple and build it again in 3 days. Save yourself and come down from the cross." So still, they're basically mocking Jesus, saying, if you have all this power, if you can do all these things you say you can do, then free yourself. Show us that you're the king. The chief priests and the teachers of the law of Moses also made fun of Jesus. They said to each other, Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day as well. Please subscribe if you can, guys. Thank you for hitting them heart taps. I appreciate that. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. Thank you guys for joining. The chief priests and the teachers of the law of Moses also made fun of Jesus. They said to each other, He saved others, but he can't save himself. If he is the Messiah, the King of Israel, let him come down from the cross. Then we will see and believe. The 2 criminals also said cruel things to Jesus. I actually wanted to clip that. I hope I can come back and clip this as well. Let me see. Hold on. It's been so long since I've been live, guys, that I don't remember what I'm doing. God bless you too. Thank you, brother. God bless you so much. I love all of you. Thank you for the heart taps. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. The goal was 85 subscribers. Now I'm currently at 81. So the goal was 85 subscribers. Let's see if we can get there. Please share this out if you can. Share it with your friends, whoever. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever you got. Let's spread the good word, guys. Let's get this channel out there to new people. And let's see how many people we can reach today. The goal right now is 10 likes, guys. If we can get 10 likes on this channel, that'd be the goal for the day. But thank you all for coming in. I appreciate you. Like I said, I'm trying to see if I can clip this. You used to be able to clip things to make shorts out of it, but I don't know if I can. Let's see here. Thank you. Appreciate that. Sarah, good to see you. Thank you. Welcome in. Dell, how you doing? Good to see you. Loco Freestyle, thank you. God bless you. Real quick, guys, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to share it out with some friends. Stay in here, and I'll be right back. All right. I shared it out real quick, and we are back. Right where we left off. Give me 1 second. Okay, so here we're getting into the death of Jesus, guys. About noon, the sky turned dark and stayed that way until around 3 o'clock. Then about the time Jesus shouted, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce that. That's hard. Like I said, guys, my pronunciation is not going to be great. Sorry. Which means, my God, why have you deserted me? Some of the people standing there heard Jesus and said, He is calling for Elijah. One of them ran and grabbed a sponge after he had soaked it in wine. He put it on a stick and held it up to Jesus. He said, Let's wait and see if Elijah will come and take him down. Jesus shouted and then died. At once the curtain in the temple tore in two from top to bottom. A Roman army officer who was standing in front of Jesus. When the officer saw how Jesus died, he said, This man really was the Son of God. Some women were looking on from a distance. They had come with Jesus to Jerusalem. But even before this, they had been his followers and had helped him while he was in Galilee. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of the younger James and of Joseph, were two of these women. Salome was also one of them. Welcome in, guys. It was now the evening before the Sabbath. I'll restart that passage because I screwed up. It was now the evening before the Sabbath, and the Jewish people were getting ready for that sacred day. A man named Joseph was brave enough to ask Pilate for the body of Jesus. Joseph was a highly respected member of the Jewish council, and he was also waiting for God's kingdom to come. Pilate was surprised to hear that Jesus was already dead, and he called in the army officer to find out if Jesus had been dead very long. After the officer told him, Pilate let Joseph have Jesus' body. Joseph bought a linen cloth and took the body down from the cross. He had it wrapped in the cloth, and he put it in the tomb that had been cut into a solid rock. Then he rolled a big stone against the entrance to the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, were watching and saw where the body was placed. Jesus is alive. Here we go, guys. Jesus is alive. Thank you for the 3 likes. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for stopping in. Who are our top fans right now. After the Sabbath, Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Jesus, bought some spices to put on Jesus' body. Very early on Sunday morning, just as the sun was coming up, they went to the tomb. On their way, they were asking one another, Who will roll the stone away from the entrance for us? But when they looked, they saw that the stone had already been rolled away, and it was a huge stone. The woman went into the tomb, and on the right side they saw a young man in a white robe sitting there. They were alarmed. The man said, Don't be alarmed. You are looking for Jesus from Nazareth, who was nailed to a cross. God has raised him to life, and he isn't here. You can see the place where they put his body. Now go and tell his disciples, and especially Peter, that he will go ahead of you to Galilee. You will see him there just as he told you. When the woman ran from the tomb, they were confused and shaking all over. They were too afraid to tell anyone what had happened. So, the place where they had buried Jesus' body is no longer there. They're shocked. They're shocked to learn that his body is no longer there. And little do they know, they're actually going to witness a miracle. They just don't know it yet. Let's continue on. And please, guys, if you're just coming in, please hit that like button and subscribe. We're trying to get to 10 likes. The goal is 85 subscribers, so let's try to get there. Thank you all for coming in. I hope you all are enjoying this as much as I am. We're going to continue on. Okay, this next passage is Jesus appears to Mary Magdalene. And very early on, the first day of the week, after Jesus has risen to life, he appeared to Mary Magdalene. Early he had forced 7 demons out of her. She left and told his friends, who were crying and mourning. Even though they heard that Jesus was alive and that Mary had seen him, they would not believe it. See, they are already in disbelief, and I can imagine how Mary feels, you know. Of course, she might be shocked, but she also might be happy to know that, you know, even after everything Jesus had went through, you know, he's still rising. He's okay. So it's got to be a mix between, you know, shock and joy at the same time, right? Later, Jesus had appeared in another form of 2 disciples, as they were on their way to the city. But when those disciples told what had happened, the others would not believe. Afterwards, Jesus appeared to his 11 disciples as they were eating. He scolded them because they were too stubborn to believe the ones who had seen him after he had been raised to life. Then he told them, "Go and preach the good news to everyone in the world. Anyone who believes me and is baptized will be saved. But anyone who refuses to believe me will be condemned. Everyone who believes me will be..." I can't talk today. "Everyone who believes me will be able to do wonderful things. By using my name, they will force out demons, and they will speak new languages. They will handle snakes and will drink poison and not be hurt. They will also heal sick people by placing their hands on them." See, Jesus wants them to believe. He wants people to have faith, you know. And as shocking as it is, you know, that he's risen, you know, he still wants them to believe. He still wants them to understand that he is risen. That he's still here. After the Lord Jesus had said these things to the disciples, he was taken back up to heaven, where he had sat down at the right side of God. Then the disciples left and preached everywhere. The word was with them, and the miracles they worked proved that their message was true. The woman quickly told Peter and his friends what had happened. Later, Jesus sent the disciples to the east and to the west with his sacred and everlasting message of how people can be saved forever. So he's saying, if you believe that I have resurrected and I am here, and that, you know, believe in his message, you will have everlasting life. Simple as that, right? Beautiful passage, though. Beautiful passage. Beautiful passage, beautiful passage. Hope everyone is having a blessed day. Hope you enjoyed that. You know, I think we're going to read something else. One of my favorites, actually. One second. Jesus and the Man with the Crippled Hand. I like to read that as well. And I guess we can read that as well. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Jesus and the Man with the Crippled Hand. This is one of my favorite stories. I love reading stories about how Jesus heals people. It just shows you how powerful Jesus is, right? Here we are, a man with a crippled hand. On another Sabbath, Jesus was teaching in a Jewish meeting place, and a man with a crippled right hand was there. Some Pharisees and teachers of the law of Moses kept watching Jesus to see if he would heal the man. They did this because they wanted to accuse Jesus of doing something wrong. Jesus knew what they were thinking, so he told the man to stand up where everyone could see him. And the man stood up. Then Jesus asked, "On the Sabbath, should we do good deeds or evil deeds? Should we save someone's life or destroy it?" After he had looked around at everyone, he told the man, Stretch out your hand. He did. And his bad hand became completely well. The teachers and the Pharisees were furious and started saying to each other, what can we do about Jesus? So even though they have tried to make Jesus look like a fool, this just shows you the power of Jesus. You know, and the love and the power that he has. And it's an amazing feeling. This is why I love to read stories about Jesus healing people, because, you know, you get a good warm feeling when you read stories like this. You know, the power he has, the love he had for people, and it's just an amazing feeling. And I for one enjoy it. I really do. He was able to heal this man so quickly, and yet still, you know, the people that denied him, they didn't want to believe it. They tried so hard to make him look like a fool, but instead, Jesus showed them, you know, this is my power. This is what I can do. It's a very good story. How many people do we have in here? Nobody right now. Hopefully we see more people later after I post this. Hopefully more people will see this on YouTube and come in. I also love reading about John the Baptist. I don't know, one of my favorite people in the Bibles. I don't know if you guys like reading about John the Baptist. If you do, let me know in the comments. What are your favorite stories of the Bible? I'm just kind of looking through here. Here's another story. This is a good one too. The man with leprosy. Jesus healed a man with leprosy. We'll read that. It's a good story. Jesus came to a man where there was a man who had leprosy. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. Jesus came to a town where there was a man who had leprosy. When the man saw Jesus, he knelt down to the ground in front of Jesus and begged, Lord, you have the power to make me well, if only you wanted to. Jesus put his hand on him and said, I want to. See, this is what I'm saying. The love Jesus had for people is amazing. You know, Jesus is about love. He wants to help people. He wants to heal people. He wants to spread his word. He knows the power he has, and he knows what he can do. I lost my place. I'm sorry. Okay. So the last part, I'm going to read this again because it's so powerful. Lord, you have the power to make me well, if only you wanted to. Jesus put his hand on him and said, I want to. I love that part. It just shows you how much love Jesus has. Now you are well. And at once the man's leprosy disappeared. Jesus told him, don't tell anyone about this, but go and show yourself to the priest. Offer a gift to the priest, just as Moses commanded, and everyone will know that you have been healed. News about Jesus kept spreading. Large crowds came to listen to him teach and be healed of their diseases. But Jesus would often go to some place where he could be alone and pray. So now people are gathering. They're witnessing a miracle. They're spreading the word, saying, look at this man who healed a man with a crippled hand. Look at this man who could heal a man with leprosy. They're spreading the word of his good love and his power, and that's just an amazing feeling to have. That is an amazing story to witness such a miracle. It would be so cool to witness something like that. I'm jealous of the people back then. Jealous of the people who got to see Jesus up close. Jealous of the people who, witnessed this miracle, because it is truly something special. It really is. That's why I love to, look through the Bible and read stories about Jesus healing people. But as Jesus heals, he also forgives, And that's what I forgot to mention here, is that after you read where Jesus heals a man, and then after you read Jesus heals a crippled man, here it is where Jesus chooses Levi. So, as I said, Jesus doesn't heal, but he also forgives. He heals and he forgives. He doesn't just heal, but he forgives those that have sinned. He forgives those that have done wrong. And that's what I'm going to get into with Jesus chooses Levi. And this is a good story. And I remember watching this in a movie, The Son of God. And it's such a powerful scene. And if you haven't watched that movie yet, I urge you to watch it, because it is a simple, understanding movie. You can understand it well. You don't have any trouble. It's easy to understand, and just the man who portrayed Jesus did an excellent job. And it will make you cry watching it. It's on Tubi and Pluto and everything like that. It's called The Son of God. Check it out if you can. But here we go with Jesus chooses Levi. Later, Jesus went out and saw a tax collector named Levi sitting at the place for paying taxes. Jesus said to him, "Come with me." Levi left everything and went with Jesus. In his home, Levi gave a big dinner for Jesus. Many tax collectors and the other guests were there. The Pharisees and some other teachers of the law of Moses grumbled to Jesus' disciples, "Why do you eat and drink with those tax collectors and other sinners?" Jesus answered, Healthy people don't need a doctor, but sick people do. I didn't come to invite good people to turn to God. I came to invite sinners." Some people said to Jesus, "John's followers often pray and go without eating. And so do the followers of the Pharisees, but your disciples never go without eating or drinking." Jesus told them, "The friends of bridegroom don't go without eating while he is still with them. But the time will come when he will be taken from them. Then they will go without eating." Jesus then told them these sayings. "No one uses a new piece of cloth to patch old clothes. The patch would shrink and make the hole even bigger. No one pours new wine into old wineskins. The new wine would swell and burst the old skins. Then the wine would be lost and the skins would be ruined. New wine must be put only into new wineskins. No one wants new wine after drinking old wine. They say the old wine is better." This is another good one. Matthew 4-23. Jesus and his apostles went down from the mountain and came to some flat level ground. Many other disciples were there to meet him. Large crowds of people from all over Judah, Jerusalem, and the coastal cities of Tyre and Sidon were there too. These people had come to listen to Jesus and be healed of their diseases. All who were troubled by evil spirits were also healed. Everyone was trying to touch Jesus, because power was going out from him and healing them all. Jesus looked at his disciples and said, God will bless you people who are poor. His kingdom belongs to you. God will bless you, you hungry people. You will have plenty to eat. God will bless you who are crying. You will laugh. And that says a lot about what we're going through today. You know, people poor, needing food and can't afford it, you know. It says simply here, and I'll read this again because it is very powerful. This is called blessing in troubles. Jesus looked at his disciples and said, God will bless you people who are poor. His kingdom belongs to you. God will bless you hungry people. You will have plenty to eat. God will bless you people who are crying. You will laugh. You know, it really says a lot about what we're going through today. You know, people are struggling in America. Other countries are struggling. And this is something we have to remember. You know, God will bless you hungry people. You will have plenty to eat. You know, God will bless you people who are crying. You will laugh. And that is something we need to remember in today's world. Even though we're going through so much, we need to laugh. We need to have faith. Wow, you know, just reading that makes you realize what we're going through today. And it's honestly just, it's a good message to hear for today. Honestly, I'd like to leave off there because I know that is honestly, that'll make you sit and reflect on everything we're going through today. But wow. But anyways, guys, I think I'm going to end the live stream here. I think that's a great place to leave off. So, hope you all enjoyed this live stream, half hour. But I will see you guys next time. Have a blessed day. I love you all. Please like and subscribe if you can. And I'll see you again. Good night.